Today we make some last-minute schedule changes and end up seeing both sides of one of America's more obscure NPS sites, Pinnacles National Park. And let's not forget the spectacular, hardly used roads that encircle the park. We had Trader Joe's for breakfast in the motel room and headed out of Monterey, California. We decided at the very last minute not to go on Monterey's 17-mile drive today. Instead, we're heading to the final national park of this trip, Pinnacles, to the southeast of Monterey. And it looked like a great day for driving through agricultural lands of all descriptions. California Highway 146 is a very small road that leads to the western part of Pinnacles National Park, where it dead ends. Not meant for RVs or trucks, the bumpy little road eventually loses its painted lines altogether, and all pretense of civilization. And we hardly even saw any other cars. This is one of our more obscure national park entrances. I bet nobody usually uses this road except the local farmers and ranchers. As soon as you start wondering if there is a park at all here, you see the sign around a bend. We're here! At the time, this was America's newest national park, having been a national monument since Teddy Roosevelt's presidency in 1908. It was elevated in 2013. The ranger station was closed, and the visitor center was closed too. There was a ranger milling about, and I chatted with him. He wasn't especially friendly. He had the sort of aloof, slightly impatient air of a police officer. But he explained where the self-check-in thing was and told us where we could go find a picnic table. The road deeper into Pinnacles is great. Well maintained and winding over hills and under trees into a valley. You soon start to see the large rock formations in the center of the park. These are ancient volcanic rocks, worn away by erosion into unique rounded shapes. At the end of the road was indeed a picnic area. We finished off the Trader Joe's, getting our money's worth, although I had to share some of mine with an insistent visitor. There is no road through the park, so we had to go back out the way we came. I wanted to see the east side too. The end of that road is only 2 miles away from here, but it's a 2-hour drive way outside the park to actually get there. And I gotta say, as much as I liked Pinnacles, and we'll learn more about it on the east side, the drive there through golden fields and hills, even more intense than we've seen before in California, was at least as nice as the park. 2 hours later, we were at the east entrance of Pinnacles. More jumping around beside the sign, and then we stopped by the visitor center. And this one was open. And when we arrived, I noticed that the odometer had just hit 14,000 miles, here on day 83 of the road trip. The park brochure explains the bizarre existence of pinnacles, and it relates to what we saw back in Point Reyes National Seashore, north of San Francisco. 23 million years ago, two tectonic plates collided and magma erupted from the seam. It hardened into rocky mountains and hills, but on opposite sides of the San Andreas fault line. Millions of years of earthquakes have moved the Pacific plate, with these rocks on it, northwest, just like Point Reyes moved 20 feet during the 1989 earthquake. Pinnacles is now 195 miles from where it started. The rest of its rocks are back there, just outside Los Angeles. Lest ye doubt the power of tectonic activity. The ranger here was much more open and friendly. Maybe because there's what seems to be a ranger-only swimming pool behind the visitor center. What a job. We continued deeper into this eastern part of Pinnacles and found yet another welcome sign. This one was the best of the three, so of course I had to pull over and get out. Pinnacles keeps you on your toes. The road here goes up a little in elevation, so you can get a closer view of the rockiness everywhere. We pulled over to check out the Bear Gulch Nature Center. After watching the film and admiring the old seismograph, I chatted with two ladies working there. They were sisters, volunteering because they love the National Park Service. And they gave us pointers for our evening in Salinas tonight, where one of them works as a teacher. Our best view of the pinnacles themselves came at the very end of this road. Worn down volcanic rocks on a bizarre journey from LA. And after that, it was time to go. But before exiting the park, we pulled over for final photos. There are still some great destinations left on this trip, including one in the National Park Service, but this is the last national park, until the next trip. And of course, outside the park, we passed through more distracting and captivating scenery, with hardly another soul around. I thought all of this was a great compliment to the park itself. Pinnacles is in one of California's best park settings, and all of it makes a great destination. Eventually the road did get a bit boring as we got closer to Salinas, although the sky had its moments. We ended up at Laurel Inn, where the clerk in the lobby said he had just made cookies. Next door was Black Bear Diner, recommended by one of the sisters in the park. The placemats show the diner's close relationship with national parks. $1 of each purchase is donated to the NPS. A good end to a good day, and it had been a big day for us, and a memorable one, in the trip's final major park. Tomorrow we head back to Monterey to take that famous 17-mile drive at Pebble Beach through a remarkable coastal wonderland of vegetation, sea views, and plenty of creatures showing off.